Yeah, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Fast and Fit class. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a recovery day, specifically if you threw your back out. If your back is currently in spasm or if it's quite tight and difficult to move, this class is going to offer solutions for that. All you'll need is a little space to lay down. You can even do this in your bed. And yeah, we'll use some yoga blocks, or you can even like roll up a towel or fold a pillow in half or something, just something you could squeeze between your knees. And we'll try to restabilize all of the hip musculature into the low back musculature and get your deep core online and working. So go ahead and grab those things and come on back. And I highly recommend, if your back is currently in spasm, drink a bunch of water, pee a couple times, and then come back and try this practice. Highly recommend hydration, especially if you're feeling a lot of inflammation. So my back gets screwy with my menstrual cycle. A lot of us experience low back pain around like the very, very end of the menstrual cycle, right before like your period starts. It's really normal. And in combination with stress, that for me means things spasm. And I get a lot of weird nerve stuff that goes on. And like, I just can't move very well for a couple of days because of stuff getting tight. These are the practices that I turn to in order to get myself back to normal. So we're going to start laying down today on your backs, if that is comfortable. If not, you can do this next part in any position. I'm a big fan of doing this in bed before I go to sleep. And we're going to start with organizing your breath. So your breath, your diaphragm directly connects to your psoas, which is one of your hip flexors. And if it's that psoas that's locked tight and causing your low back to freak out, breath is going to help release that. Not only will it release the musculature on a physical level, but it's also going to downregulate your nervous system and give your body the opportunity it needs to decide if it's safe to let go. So we're just going to lay down. I'm going to put hands on my belly. You can put hands anywhere that is comfortable for you. Eyes open or closed. And settle into the mat or your bed or wherever you're at for a moment. Take some little rocks if that feels safe. Give yourself as much support as you need. Sometimes it's comfortable legs long with pillows under your knees. Sometimes it's more comfortable knees bent. Sometimes it's comfy to knock the knees together. Sometimes you'd like a little head or neck support, other times not. Whatever you need, go ahead and set yourself up for comfort because we'll be here for a little bit breathing. And just give yourself an opportunity. Any little wiggles. My face apparently wanted a massage, so I'm just going to give it that. Any wiggles, anything your body wants right now, just go ahead and offer it that. And as you start to settle, as stillness starts to come and feel natural, find stillness. And let's tap into what the breath is doing. So we're going to use our whole torso to breathe here. We've done this practice before. In fact, I think we did this practice last week in the somatic class, maybe. We're going to start with some belly breaths. And I want you to imagine there's a sphere of light right at the center of your belly. When you inhale, it expands in all directions, filling up the pelvic bowl, coming up to the bottom of the rib cage, spreading wide side to side, and also pressing forward, raising belly up and back, low back, gently inflating towards the ground. See if you can imagine that spherical expansion and contraction. And just notice how the torso transforms as you inhale and exhale. Notice as you're doing this, if anything else is gripping, maybe fronts of the shoulders, your jaw. Is there anything that doesn't need to work right now that you can ask to let go? Slow, deep breaths. Neither forcing, like you don't have to force your air in, but I do encourage you to fish around in your torso for any spots that maybe need a little extra expansion or even extra contraction. Start to explore those spaces. So as you inhale, maybe aiming into an achy part. And as you exhale, start to think about pulling belly button in towards the spine. So a little more active core engagement. So you'll feel your corset muscles turn on and like your belly will float down towards your spine and you'll pull everything in as you exhale. And then release it and inhale again, expand. Back and forth a couple times. I don't want to cue your pace. Everyone's breathing pace is going to be a little different, but I encourage you to play with it for a moment. I'll give you about another minute or so. Oh, I just got a pandiculation. Those are those full body yawns, and it's a great sign that your nervous system is down regulating and your body is reorganizing into a more relaxed state. Ugh. Okay. We're going to take this concept of spherical breathing and move it up into the rib cage. We want to also use the upper part of our torso and re-regulate the breathing there. So belly is going to stay quiet as much as possible and see if you can redirect your breath to the upper body. I want shoulders to stay relaxed. Neck muscles don't need to engage here. Think about breathing wide into the rib cage and then exhaling, letting the rib cage come back towards center. Think about relaxing shoulders and letting your rib cage do the work. The helpful cues can be hands on rib cage. Give yourself a tactile sensation, even gentle press. And gently inhale into the hands, like spreading the hands wider apart. And then taking them back in. Ooh, this is what my back wants. So we'll take a few more breaths here. Feeling the transformation of your ribs spreading gently apart, making more space through the central column of your torso. This is changing the architecture of your deep core. I went quiet there because I found a good spot to breathe into and I didn't want to distract it. What we're going to do now is combine those two breaths. We're going to inhale into the belly and into the ribs, and then we'll exhale belly, exhale ribs. At your own pace, you can take this quite slowly. We'll inhale belly, fill that sphere of air up, and then let it fill the ribs. And then exhale belly first. Let the belly fall towards the spine, pull in, and then let the ribs close. Deep core is engaged. belly and ribs. Exhale, belly and ribs. A few more at your own pace. Notice if there's any gripping in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, anywhere that you can ask to take a little vacation. Notice those places. Notice that they grip and just request, hey, maybe you can let go a little. Okay, on your next exhale, exhale fully, squeeze the belly in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Really squeeze all of your air out. And we'll just hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep the belly in as you inhale. And see if you can just find some belly squeeze. So we want belly button in towards the spine. This isn't the same as like your six-pack abs doing a crunch. This is the musculature underneath the six-pack abs. And those muscles run like horizontally across your belly. Your six-pack abs run vertically. So we want these horizontal muscles to pull and tighten the waist, basically. So this is what helps support the spine. This is your transversus abdominis. We're just going to practice squeezing and holding it a couple times. If it helps to have fingers horizontal across your belly and you pull in, you can think about giving your fingers a little bit of just a baby squeeze, not very tight. But if that's a helpful tactile cue, do it. And you'll have to redirect your breathing into your rib cage. Think about especially breathing into the back of your rib cage here. As we just practice belly pulls, just pulling and squeezing. Lift the pelvic floor, so do a little Kegel here. This is going to further stabilize your deep core and spine. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. One more breath. I'm a slow breather, by the way. Good, and then go ahead and release the belly and see if that invited any penticulations. If you want to take a wiggle and see what shakes out, go ahead and take a wiggle. Ooh. Ooh. Hopefully already, if your back was in spasm when you began this practice, it's already starting to unwind a little bit. If it has not, I want you to stay just with the breathing practice and these belly pull practices until it starts to unwind, which sometimes can, at least for me, can take a couple of days, and you just have to be patient and not overdo things. If you're ready to go on, if you would like a little bit more, I feel mine starting to unwind a little bit. It's really liking these stability exercises. And this is what I've been doing basically all weekend with my back. Then you can try these next exercises. So check in with yourself, make sure your body would like to proceed with more movement and more core organization and coordination before proceeding. If it's still like you move a leg and your back seizes, it's too soon. We need to still breathe and get those muscles to let go and regulate first. We always release first, and then we'll move things around. All right, so let's see. Next, we're going to try a thigh lift. So let's find that belly pull posture, that tightening of your corset. And I want you to play with this for a moment and just find, what does it feel like to do 100% squeeze? And then let it go to maybe like 50% squeeze, 30% squeeze, and then no squeeze. Let's do that again. Pull your belly in. Really think about touching belly button to spine. In we go. And then release it to like 60%, 50%. These numbers are very arbitrary. We're just exploring the range of these muscles today. And then release it a little more. And then release it fully. So when we're moving legs around, your body's going to give you signals. And depending on the signals your body is giving you, it might want a more engaged core. And if your back's actively in spasm, it's probably going to want a more engaged core. On the other hand, having a fully 100% pulled in corset muscle, it can be a little hard to move. So you'll have to make some negotiations in order to coordinate your deep abdominals with leg movements. This is on purpose. Right now, your body is not regulating your deep core with other movements in your body. Like it's just causing your back to spasm, right? So we need to teach it what degrees are good and enough support while it figures out how to unwind the stuff happening on the back side of the body. So go ahead and try it. Pull your corset muscles in, and with legs bent, feet on the floor about hip width apart, we're just going to pick up one leg hinging from the hip at 90, knee at 90, and put it back down. Do the other side. Pick it up and put it back down. Really think about keeping this core engagement online. This is like Pilates, basically. I'm not necessarily in an imprint, though. I'm trying to keep my spine pretty neutral, though when mine spasms, the curve in my low spine tends to change shape. Yours might be a different experience, whichever it is. I'm just trying to maintain a neutral. And I'm thinking about pulling my core in and moving slowly enough that I can really pay attention to if my engagement in my belly slips, or if something else tries to take over, like my hip flexors. I really want to feel this in the belly, not necessarily the fronts of the hips. Let's go for 8. A little more marches. 7. 6. 5. Oh, I just got a little. 4. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing is really important here. This is re-coordinating deep core. For 2-ish, 1-ish. Even out your sides. And we'll take a break. You can take a wiggle. Oh, I feel so much better already. Oh my gosh, that's what we wanted. Level 2 of this exercise, same low belly engagement. Pull that corset muscle in. Think belly button to spine the whole time. And you can take both legs up. My low back's not quite ready for this. And you'll tap one leg down at a time. These are like your standard Pilates marches. I'm going to stay at level 1 today and pick up one leg at a time. If you're ready for more, you can drop one leg at a time. Let's do 8 together. For 8, 7, coordinate your breath. Find where the most effort is required. Usually an exhale there is helpful because it helps squeeze that core in. I lost count, we'll go for 4. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. Take a couple breaths in neutral and just feel the difference. See if anything in your body is asking for attention, and give it that attention. Take a little wiggle, indulge in any pendiculations. Oh, wow, time certainly flies. Okay. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is feet are gonna come together. Knees are gonna drop wide apart from each other. So you're in kind of this Supta diamond leg shape. Soles of the feet come to touching. Level 1, we're just gonna squeeze the heels in towards each other and hold. That's all we're doing. So you'll feel your side butt engage. Your hip muscles are going to turn on. And if this is too much for your low back right now, go back to the previous exercises and just work on your breath. Maybe work on your belly pulls and try some thigh drops. We're asking different muscles to work here in this position. So we'll just work up to it if you need to. Still squeezing heels together, just squeeze and hold. We're teaching the body stability here. Right now, it's in spasm because it doesn't feel safe. It's trying to hold on to protect you. I'm like, say, thank you, body. That's very helpful. But you can let go now. I'm going to teach these other muscles to squeeze and hold on and protect you. The more things we can get online, the safer the body is going to feel to let go. Level 2 of this exercise is to lift the butt off of the floor an inch or two. And that same thing, heels are squeezing together, hips are lifted, and we're just going to hover in place. I really want you to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze here. And if you're like me, I just feel like it feels like things coming back online. It feels like zings. It feels like tingles, like a sigh of relief through my right hip right now. It's like, oh my God, something else is working other than the thing that's been spasming this whole time. So I'm just noticing those feelings and taking some breaths to assure my body that it is safe to change. Let's hold it for 8, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax everything down. Close the knees back up and take a wiggle and see what has changed. Notice I'm not offering any stretching in this class. Stretching a muscle that's in spasm is not always helpful, especially if I know a lot of you have really gummy joints like I do. My joints are a real sketch sometimes. And depending on like my hormone cycle and what I've eaten, the inflammation in my joints can spike up or come down. And I have to be mindful of that. And stretching usually just makes it worse for my body. And I recommend these active approaches rather than passive stretching whenever possible, just in case the body's looking for safety versus stretching its boundaries, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Okay, let's see, we did the SI hold. What we're gonna do, okay, I'm just slowly bumping up the level on these. What we're gonna do is roll over onto hands and knees. Let me make sure, yes, we're gonna do that. Oh, there's a dead moth on my floor. Wow, okay, go over there. So roll off onto one side. And you're gonna gently press yourself up to seated. Or get yourself up in any way that's comfortable right now. And if you're still feeling quite immobile and unable to move very well, I want you to just keep repeating those first few bits, especially the breath, especially the belly pulls, gently introducing things as you feel safe to do so, which might take a few days of practicing this. This is like day 4 for me. So here we go. We're coming onto hands and knees. Ugh. Oh, I feel so much better already. Wow. And what I want you to do is let's start with stabilizing some hip stuff. So spread the fingers wide, or you can also do this with elbows on blocks. And we're going to squeeze the knees towards each other. They're not going to go anywhere, but I just want you to feel your inner thighs engage. I forgot to do these laying down, but we can easily do them on hands and knees also. So if you're not ready for hands and knees, I'll just give the option. Quickly. Keep squeezing, kids. You can take a pillow between the knees and just squeeze. Little rock side to side can be nice if you're laying down. I recommend this. This is like a nice thing to do before bed. Just squeeze something and hold it for 30 seconds or so and then release it and then you're done. Okay, now if you're on hands and knees, I want you to press the knees apart. They're not going to go anywhere, but you're going to feel your outer hips turn on. And just notice if that causes any sensations, if one is better feeling than the other. I always recommend you follow your pleasure when we're trying to calm a spasm. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep practicing that. if you're ready to go on to the next level, we're going to spread the fingers wide, walk the knees a little closer to each other, tuck the toes, and then hover. I want you to pick up your knees an inch off the floor and just hover there. Your quads are going to burn. If you need to come down, if you hold it for 2 seconds and then come down, that's great. If this is causing any pain in your low back, skip it. Choose an exercise that does not cause pain. For me, this feels really great right now. My hips are just as neutral as I'm able to get them. My back's as neutral. I'm pressing the floor away with my hands. Hold it for 8, 7, 6, for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lower the knees down and take a wiggle. See what's changed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we're going to come to seated. You can do this from a chair. You can also do this standing. I'm going to sit on a block. Any comfortable position. I want to do one more bear crawl, but we've just got 5 minutes. I want to make sure we get this last exercise in. So I would like to work on controlled muscular rotation in your trunk to teach the obliques to turn back on here. So what we're going to do, shall we do this today? So we've probably all done like seated twists in various classes before. What we're going to do is, sorry, I just had a little adjustment. That was pleasant. What we're going to do is muscularly twist. So your hands do not get to participate. We're just going to take these hands and take them out of the equation, pull that belly in just like we've been doing. Corset muscle is engaged. And then let's inhale, get tall, exhale, just a little twist, squeezing obliques, relaxing the shoulders, and holding it muscularly in this little twist. I'm not going very far. And take some deep breaths there. So I'm twisting to my right. I feel my right obliques turning on. Really find your breath here. We need to re-coordinate the breath in a lot of different positions. Good. On your next inhale, let's return to center. Take a little wiggle. See how you feel. I feel a little lopsided. We're going to inhale. Get super long in the spine. Pull your belly in towards your backbone. Exhale, twist. Let's go to the other side. Hands don't participate. I'm just really squeezing my core and holding stability. And find your breath here. Notice if your core engagement starts to just sort of slack off. See if you can pull it back in there. Maybe actively every exhale, encourage your muscles to take you just a millimeter further into your twist. And when you're ready, go ahead and inhale and unwind back to center. Take a breath here and feel the difference. And we're going to end again with one of those bear crawls or with one of those quadruped knees apart, knee squeeze exercises we just did. So we're going to come back to hands and knees. And option 1, squeeze the knees together, press the knees apart, whichever felt better. Option 2, you're going to tuck the toes and hover the knees an inch off the mat. And we're just going to squeeze and hold this for, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. Press the floor away with your hands to spread the shoulder blades wide across the upper back. Check that your knees aren't like 6 inches, but maybe like 2 or 3 or 1 inch away. Quads are active. Pull the belly in. Find your breath. Hold it for 4. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower it down. Whew. And take a breath in some comfortable position. Sheesh. That is the protocol that I use when my back spasms. I'm really prone to that sort of thing. I struggle with it even today when I teach this stuff professionally. These are the things that I do to get it back under control. And I already feel a big difference. I'm not ready to test it yet because I don't want it to just clench back up. But I'm going to just take a gentle lunge. And I recommend you drink lots of water. Maybe take a short walker on your block or something. Keep movement in your body as much as possible. And return to starting with breath, always with breath. Turn with breath, return to pulling the belly in, and then gently add movement to it as you're ready to get more complex with letting the spasm go. I hope that made sense. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. I might put this one up for free on my on YouTube or something. So if you're coming from YouTube, you can check out my Patreon for more classes like this one. There's new classes every week. We talk about things like this, practical stuff for like when your body short circuits and freaks out on you. But also we work on somatic movement, super gentle moving meditations. We work on active flexibility, and we work on just general fitness stuff. Like the fitness I would assign to everyone if I could. If you liked this, come check it out at patreon.com/AllieBMovement. And I'll see you there. Okay, kids, I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.